Welcome to the Put on Waivers Media Group, home of the Put on Raiders podcast and the Student Body Right podcast. This is your place for the best breakdowns and the best insight for those who fight on and bleed silver and black. Now, here are your hosts, Dwayne Douglas and Ryan Holmes.
Hey, welcome everybody to another glorious episode of the Student Body Rights USC podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas, along with Coach B, and we are podcasting on the beautiful shores of the Pacific Ocean. Beautiful day out here in Southern California. PORSB is my Twitter handle, and also Coach B is BLU
BVL 21.
I don't know why I can't. I drew a blank on that one. So I did two shows since the Michigan game, so I want to give Coach B his opportunity. I think we kind of spoke about it real quick, and I was thinking about it today. Was the best thing about watching that game from home was the sellout crowd and just all the circumstance around it made me wish I went to the game. And I think I think they built it up as that during the week.
Yeah.
They did the same thing with the night game against Michigan State. And I thought that was like the cool thing about it was like, you know, when I used to live in Connecticut, I'd be like, damn, I wish I was there. But like, I mean, like for me to be home and being like, okay, I wish I had just like spent the money and just threw down the Amex and just went and then I pay it back later. I wish that I kind of went and I could, because everybody said it felt some old timers who I know who were there for like, you know, from some of the big games at USC said they really enjoyed the atmosphere there.
Atmosphere was amazing. I mean, even from our tailgate, like I'm gonna be honest, like from people seeing the band come through, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like seeing the band come through was amazing, right? And here's the thing that we have to remember all the time with us, right? Like people don't tailgate like we tailgate. I think other blue bloods forget that. We tailgate on campus. I was sitting with Michigan fans, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they said the biggest thing they said, right, was, is this always like this? I'm like, yeah, this is our tailgate. It's always like this, right?
Yeah.
And he said, wait, what do you mean? He said, this is amazing. I said, hold on. You're Michigan.
Yeah.
You're Michigan.
Yeah.
And we weren't even in the main part of our campus to tailgate. I said, but you're Michigan. He said, well, the problem is Michigan doesn't tailgate on campus.
Yeah.
They Ann Arbor, the city, is Michigan. So what they do is they go to the local bars. They go to the local hotspot. You know what I mean? Dive or whatever. But they were like, we've never seen nothing like this before. And I'm talking about guys who have season ticket. He said his family have been season ticket holders from Michigan for 30 plus years.
Yeah.
And they never seen nothing like what we do on campus. And I'm like, when I got there at 10 a.m. People were setting up.
Yeah.
And like, it was like our fan experience wasn't open yet. Nothing was really open. People were kind of like moving around, you know what I mean? And people were saying, this is special, right? So then you walk through the student section, it was special. You walk through everybody at a certain point, and then when the band came through and they're playing, and I'm not a big fan of our band. I'm gonna be honest. I'd rather have our DJ. I'm not a big fan of our band. I think our band has a few songs, and then
go ahead.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah, but like they only played the hits.
No. They play. Listen. What we play is amazing.
Yeah.
They just don't have no variety. You know, we're not.
I mean, I don't know if we could have variety because people get mad when they hear, you know, people get upset when they hear, you know, whatever. I mean, there's so many LA classics that they could play.
And they, you know what I'm saying? But people get upset about, right?
Yeah, upset about it. So yeah.
So again, like, and then being on campus and seeing that, and then watching people go through, and we get the pole, and we get to the Coliseum, and it's rocking, like there's tension in the air outside, bro. outside of the like not outside. It's walking into the stadium before you get to your seat. There's tension in the air. You can feel it. It's palpitating.
Everybody knows it's a big game.
Yes,
Everybody
and then
knows it's a big game.
yeah, it's not angry. It's just like you can cut it with a knife. Everybody's on the edge, and you're waiting to see who's going to do what. And then you get to your seat, and
Who's
then
gonna score? Who's gonna score first?
yeah, then you just see, and you're seeing, oh, we strike first, punch him in the mouth, strike first, and then it's like, oh, we're in this thing. Then you reserve, like for me, and I think it would have been for you, we're reserved until the third quarter. We're waiting for that Miller Moss mistake. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Then we get it with a bad pick by Jaden, right?
My play was before that though. My play was the Lake McRee fumble. I mean, because they could have curb stomped them dudes real early.
Right. So that's why
real early.
I didn't get that only because that was when you see it, it was a free, and it was what I saw live is what I saw on tape. It was he got blindsided. He got blindsided. And there's nothing you can do about that. You can say you got your head on swivel. Yes, agree. But he got blindsided. And when you see it live and you see it on tape and it matches up, I'm like, okay, I'm good with that. That was one of those, it wasn't careless. He thought he was free. He saw what he saw in front of him.
But
he thought he was free. And he wasn't.
You're never free on a football field.
No, you're not. And I think what he learned from what I love from that, right? It was a learning curve, a learning mistake that he could say, okay, next week in Notre Dame, my head's on the swivel because people are not. He may not score, but he's not going to fumble. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He knows people are going to come from his blind side. He's going to actually pay attention to that blind side. He's going to see that on tape Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and he's going to pay attention to that play because that was his shining moment. That was his moment, like as you said, to blow their doors open on this team.
It was very early in the game, but like you knew that you can tell that Wink Martindale didn't like whatever he had planned wasn't it.
Because, no, and I told people I told one of my guys, two of my guys who are Michigan fans, I said, we made them stop. He said, what you mean? I said, you think screen game wasn't working? You think Mekhi wasn't working? We made you stop blitzing when we wanted to.
Yeah.
We punched you and punched, and when we does that, there's no answer for this offense. When I have a guy who I made the defense change their game plan. As a defensive coordinator, that is a weakness for me. I never want you to change my game plan. And again, one thing that I think it was a commentator said on the broadcast when I went back and listened to it. He said that last year when we played them, they had big yardage, like total yardage, but it was mounted off of three big runs.
It was 3 plays. The whole game was 3 plays.
Right. And I truly forgot that, right? So that told me that Danton he understood what he needed to do. And you're with you're a more mobile quarterback, but he's not accurate. And I keep telling people Bryce Underwood is showing he's a freshman. He showed that game, that atmosphere. You can call Big House what you want. You can call every place what you want. But on the road, in that atmosphere, when you have all these fans screaming, yelling, they're in your noise, in not the student section, but it might as well been the back end zone.
Yeah.
Might as well have been a student section, bro.
Yeah.
It might as well have been. And then all those recruits, that's what I loved about Lincoln. He understood that moment because we had so many big recruits there.
Yeah, we did.
He understood the moment.
Yeah. No question about it. And I think that also he showed out. I think that also in the game, I think the gravity of the game, you saw it in his face because how often when Ryan Sierra, who's been great all year, made that field goal to go up 3 scores.
54? Yes.
That is one of the few times you see raw emotion from
and it was. I loved what you said right there. It was raw emotion.
Yes, he wasn't
I
faking
love
it.
that.
He
He wasn't faking it.
he felt it.
He felt it, and he understood that yes, we have a guy. Because
Yeah.
me and you texted back and forth during that moment. I said, "Yeah, I don't mind it because I felt like the reason why I felt like our defense was playing so well.
Yeah.
And as a defensive guy, that told me the confidence that you put the confidence in us, right? So as a defense coordinator, in that moment, I'm walking to my captains on defense and saying, if he don't make it, it don't matter.
Yep.
Coach just said we're gonna win this game. Go out there and make a play.
Mm-hmm.
If he don't, don't look. I don't want y'all to look. It don't matter what he do in this moment. And that's what Lincoln Riley infused in his defense in that moment.
Yeah.
Because 54 yards and a guy who's only kicked 48.
Yeah.
That's a big difference.
And like I said, it was like a little knuckler, but it just needs to go in. It doesn't.
I don't care how you get it.
It doesn't matter. It just get it. Just get it. It don't matter. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. They lose a bunch of running backs. We're able to bounce back from that. I think now it is interesting that all of a sudden, every running back is available now. So Wormley and Dalton the third are available. I would think you would see those guys only in emergency situations. But I think the one thing going into this game with all those, I think he's smart. This is the reason why Lincoln just has so much fucking untapped potential as a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he knows that he's not going to have those dudes just being pass pro.
Right.
So he plays a 12 personnel. I mean, 22 personnel or 12 personnel to keep either Walker Lyons in or Lake McCree in to be the extra protector.
Right.
So I'm not really worried about pass pro with those two guys. Those two guys, but it was good to see Brian Jackson. We haven't seen him really run since Texas A&M, the bowl game. So he came in and did a good job. And I think overall, I think Danton did. I mean, I wrote a story because I write for LAFB Network, and I wrote a story about what Dan Lynch should kind of suggestions he should do during the game, and I was just like, the first thing I put in there was like 3 linebackers. I mean, this was a 3 linebacker game, and I'm happy to see that we saw 3 linebackers in the game. They did a great job, and I think just those timely blitzes with Bishop Fitzgerald, he had 2 more picks. Alice Graham got his feet wet in the game a little bit. So you had that, but it was just a really, it looked like, when you have 2 weeks to prepare, I'm a big time head coach, I'm whoop your ass.
Right. And so here's the thing, though. And so, again, that makes me fearful going to next week, right? Because I think that we need to go with 3 linebackers again. I don't think CJ Carr is better than Underwood. I don't think they have anything more.
As a passer, he's not. As a passer, he definitely is.
I think, well, so as a passer, he is, but I think that does not.
Overall, you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't think that's what hurts us, right? Or what hurts us is being a dynamic quarterback, being somebody who can move the pocket, being somebody who can escape out the pocket, being a threat in the run game is what hurts us because Lynn plays alignment, assignment, defense. So when you do that, you have a lot of guys who, when I'm gonna do my job, but with the guy who breaks that down is the guy who can play above the scheme. That's what Underwood could do, play above the scheme. CJ Carr's not him. Right, it's not playing above the scheme. It's doing. CJ Carr's the guy who's I'm gonna do my job.
Can we kind of be honest? Can we just be honest about CJ Carr real quick and just say, with their schedule, like we don't know yet what kind of player he is.
I will see. I think we do. I think we do. I don't think. So I'm talking about from physical ability standpoint.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know what he is mentally. You're right. Physical ability, I think CJ Carr, I've seen him before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've seen him before in a Dylan Gabriel. I've seen him before in a Riley Leonard. I've seen him before. He's just a more dynamic passer than Riley Leonard.
Yeah, he's a better passer than Riley Leonard. Yeah,
that's what he is.
Leonard gave you that issue the issue with the running game.
Right,
yeah.
And he's not going to give you that.
Yeah.
So he's going to be there when we want to get home. When we want to get home, he's going to be there. And he's going to be where we want him to be at the spot.
They showed he threw a dime to one of the tight ends against NC State. and it was against NC State, where I think it'd be cool if I think Bishop Fitzgerald probably made a phone call to his boys
Right.
and say, hey, help me out with that. And I think even Dan Lynn talked about how Chad Boatman helped out a little bit with the Notre Dame stuff. But he looked left, he looked right, looked middle, and then threw to the right side, just a nice pass over the DB's head to the tight end. And I'm thinking in my head, like, that's a lot of time.
Right.
Like, is he gonna have? I mean, is Danton gonna give him that much time like NC State did? I think we have. I mean, even with the loss of my boy Bouchard, for these couple of games, they still have a slew of defensive linemen who are gonna put pressure on.
I think we get home. I don't think this offensive line is as good as we've seen in years past. Right.
I don't think the offensive line and defensive line is as good as it was last year.
I think that we're gonna get home. I think that we're gonna be able to. I feel like if we're able to stop the run, again, I always say stop, control it, control the run, leave us out of play action situations. Again, Lynn, this is one of those days you got to step up. And find it.
Yeah, and you got to stop. I think you have to also I'm glad you spoke about the three linebackers, because Love is one of those running backs. You want to stop the engine before it gets going.
Absolutely.
I think do the same thing you did last week. I mean, stop that engine, because you don't really want, if they're going to throw him out of the backfield, let that happen. But cool. I don't want him running the football crazy, because once he gets into the secondary, he's just difficult. He's just a pain.
Yeah, no, he's going to be difficult to bring down, and even though we have tackles in secondary, he's difficult to bring down. And I feel like like you said, three linebackers, and with Gentry and his ability to I love his ability off the edge. Don't get me wrong, but his ability to go sideline to sideline, and you can't get away, and he don't miss tackles. Yeah. He doesn't miss tackle. That kid plays so much.
He missed the first tackle of the year, and he's been pretty much on fire ever since then.
He don't like. I don't like. Come on, I don't. Do what you think you want to do with that kid, but he don't miss.
Yeah, he don't. Yeah, he don't.
He don't miss.
He don't. And I mean, like I said, I know that they. I know Notre Dame has some starters who are not going to be in this game. Marcus Freeman did talk about their Leonard Moore, one of their top corners, that they're not opposed to putting him in the slot.
Right.
You want to try to put him on the best receiver in the country? You can.
Please.
If he's an outside corner, like I think, I would not blow my defense. Let him battle Lane, and then I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do my best to kind of bracket what I can do with Lemon, because Michigan tried to bracket him, and that thing was that back shoulder against Michigan was like the catch of the year.
Yeah, listen, I have the best receiver in the country. I'm the best receiver in the country.
No, it's not even a question.
He's the best off the field. He's the best route runner. He's the best hands. Like the kid is, and he's not as tall as physical as the other ones. And you can say what you want, but that kid is different. Yeah. That kid is different. And I like Jeremiah Smith. I like Ryan Williams. I like them. But I think this kid is just different. Yeah. The want to, the know-how, they'll go get it, the understanding and playing the space. And I love what I heard on the broadcast again is when they said he's a coach on the field. Coaches coach him like they coach other coaches. That's the way Lincoln described him.
Yeah.
If I can do that with a player, it's game over. There's nothing you can do with me.
92.6 receiving grade, 682 yards, 332 yards after the catch, 15 missed tackles. All the last three numbers I said were second in the country. His receiving grade by PFF is the first. So he's that guy. He's that guy. So right. to me, real quick, I did want to say this real quick to you, because I know we go back and forth. You love this game. this week. I hate this game. I don't want to play him. I think it's. I think if we play him, I want them to play him and as when they join the Big Ten. But interesting that on USC's website when they gave the 2026 opponents, Notre Dame is no longer listed there.
You know what I loved about that site? You know what I loved about that? We have Oregon and Ohio State at home.
Yes, we do.
I
We
seen
do.
that. I'm like, I don't care about Notre Dame.
Yes, and I think it's time that people just like I know the history. I know that when they had I think it was either Goodfellas or Scarface or one of the mafia movies, the famous mafia movie where like they have a big deep conversation, but
Mhm.
and the TV in the background is SC and Notre Dame,
Mhm.
like what I'm saying, like the game, whatever. So I get it, but I was on a call-in show last night for USC, and I just said I'm just like I said I know I'm in the minority, but I just don't feel like we should play them anymore. I think that if they want to be rivals with us, they can join a conference, and I think that everybody placates to them, and nobody because they have deep pockets. All these teams will go play them and get blown out, and then to take their check. But like for the most part, like I mean, they should be. It's only them in Connecticut, bro. Like
Well, you have to look at it differently, though, right? Because we're the only team that really plays them. We're the only team that really honors it. Michigan don't play them no
yeah,
more.
no, not anymore. No, Ohio State don't play them anymore.
No more.
Yeah, no.
We're the only team that really honors it, and that's
Yeah.
because of
We'll
our
take the most credit. We'll take the most criticism for stopping playing
because
them
of our long history.
because of
Because
history. But yeah,
right,
yeah,
but we're
yeah,
the no big school really plays them anymore because they don't really care.
yeah.
You don't matter to us,
Because conference play is so tough now.
right?
Yeah, for everybody,
Yeah.
it's just really hard. Like what I'm saying. Like I mean, these games you play against. I mean, all of a sudden you think UCLA is dead. They fire their coach, not dead anymore. Like what I'm saying. Like I mean,
So they're dead. They're just playing.
but
They're
you know
playing
what
a
I'm
little
saying.
bit.
You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm
They're
saying.
dead.
You know what I'm saying. Franklin got fired over that shit. So it is what it is. But he gives no credit, folks. He gives no credit to UCLA ever, dude. They can win a natty. He's never gonna give him credit. He hates little brother more
Just
than
so you
anything.
know,
So
so you know what it is.
Euclid gets no love because there's no love on this program. Um, but yeah. To the game here. I I don't understand the 9.5. I don't get it. Maybe they'll go there and get blown out, and I'll say okay, fine. I understand why they got blown out, but I don't understand the 9.5 spread. I think last year when they came down and they were playing their best football, USC and Jaden Mayava, who just took over, didn't really know the offense or whatever. Just learning right now, learning in the moment. Put up over 30 points against them when they had a better defense they did last year. They're at the goal line at the second yard at the 2 yard line. And I mean, I think this year's version of Coach Riley would have just ran the football on 1st and 10,
Yep.
but he had a myriad of receivers. He's trying to keep everybody happy, and he threw a jump. He threw a jump ball. They threw a jump ball to Kyrie Hudson that got picked off, and they ran it back for a touchdown.
Yeah.
In most cases, that game is tied, and they just keep going back and forth for the whole game. With them being, I think with USC being more complete and them being, you know, just not as good as last year. I mean, they're not as good. I mean, they're a good team. I'm not shitting on Notre Dame like their ass. They're not cheeks, but I don't think that this team is as good as they were last year. I just don't. I don't. I think last year's team would have split one of those first two games.
Yeah, like we've seen Notre Dame at their peak. I don't think Notre Dame at their peak. I don't think CJ Carr's a better quarterback than they had last year. I think the offense is a little more dynamic. I feel like when they had that, I call him that fat ass 400-pound running back. He irritated the hell out of me. I hate Estime.
That's
Um,
the, that's the
and
man's
then,
that's the man's opinion. Yes, he's better than
yeah,
us.
and then you have Julian, you have Love. I mean, here's my thing. I feel like this, right? I feel like offensively, we can do the same things against Michigan that we can do here. We can do the same things,
Yeah,
play the same defense. The question is, Lincoln, what are you going to dial up on offense? Because you had 2 weeks to prepare, right? To prepare that and say, okay, this is what we're looking at. Because I think Michigan's offensive line is just as good as Notre Dame's,
Yeah, I agree.
right?
I agree.
And we were able to do what we wanted to do there.
I mean, shout out to Cameron Crawford.
Harvard, yeah.
I'm setting the edge. I mean, I question whether or not he could do that against a team like that, and he shut me up real quick. He did a great job of setting the edge. Sometimes it's just not like you want a pass rush. Sometimes it ain't about the pass rush, bro. It's all about just setting the edge and just
Be the guy to set the edge.
and
If you
yes,
what we always talk about on a defense is do your job.
yep.
Because if you do your job, we win.
The unselfish.
Every time I talk to my defenses, and when I go around, I speak to other high school defenses, even some college defenses, junior college defenses. I say, do your job. What is coach asking you to do? Do your job and then tell me it didn't work. Don't try to do your job and do somebody else's job and
Yeah,
then tell me you had to do somebody else's job because they weren't doing their job. No, because if you don't do your job, I can't fix the problem.
yeah.
If you're setting the edge and the backer gets cut through, well, then you did your job. Let me fix the backer. But if you don't do your job and you're trying to cheat to help him and we get hit on the outside, now both of you didn't do your job and now I got two problems to fix.
Yeah,
Just do your
exactly.
job.
Yeah,
And
100%.
that's what I think that's all Lynn was asking for was, guys, do your job. If you do your job, we win this football game.
There's enough plays for you to get a
They're
great.
gonna be there.
They're gonna when you do your job. There's so many plays in the game. You're gonna get shine.
Mhm.
You're gonna get those plays. So, also in this game, and also in that last week, and we'll see if they do it this week. Is that Williams and Nicholson? They were the prime backers. Defensive backs. They didn't really shuffle any guys back there. They had the one, miss on the cover too.
Yeah.
It could have been, the Carls didn't get deep enough, didn't carry the receiver long enough, stuff like that, or it could have been, just a bad angle by Ramsey. Coach Lim will know that. As far as that goes.
It felt like in the stadium, we just didn't sink deep enough, right?
Like the Carls didn't drop didn't drop
You just
didn't
didn't
drop.
sink, you didn't
Yeah.
drop deep enough, and you knew who your threat was, and you just didn't drop. It felt like that, right? And then Ramsey's expecting you, so he slow played it over the top.
Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of times you have safety slow play because I'm waiting for that threat in the middle. Something they seen. It's something they probably seen on film. So Ramsey's looking for
Yeah.
that slot for his slot threat, right? For his number two. He's looking for that threat or somebody coming across his eyes and he didn't get it. So he slow played it. But he was expecting his corner to sink a little bit deeper, to drop a little bit deeper in that zone. So you take that away, you take it away, right? He
Uh-huh.
might make that throw, but it won't be as big. Um, and I can get over there a little later. I can be late if you slow play it. If you don't, I can't be late.
Yeah.
Right. So if you don't sink, I can't be late. So it's just one of those things where it was something, and it's something we have to look at continuously because we continuously have busted coverages. Key thing is we didn't have too many this week.
Yeah. We
We
did
didn't
not.
have
We
those
did
things
not.
this
We did
week.
not. We did not.
We had very disciplined football this
Yeah.
week.
And even on the I was gonna say, even on the all 22, it wasn't like, okay, he didn't have time, but people were open. Like he was
Right.
struggling. He was struggling. It was people. The people were not people were not open. As far as that goes. So CJ Carr, 13 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Leonard Moore has 3 interceptions. So you have to, obviously he's their best corner. So we'll see where he lines up. I mean, I think one thing too, that I do want to kind of mention here too is that, like, I understand the head on the swivel. I understand that, we had one play where Mayava reverted back to UNLV Mayava and then threw that horrible pick, especially
That
that
was terrible.
yeah, what I'm saying. So, like, I think, but this is still the second straight road game where so a second game against a quality opponent where they had 2 turnovers on offense. Like, if Lincoln can, it's like having a perfectly pressed shirt and you just have 2 creases in it with those turnovers. If they
Right.
can, if Lincoln can just iron out those 2 creases, those two wrinkles, I should say. I think that would be. I mean, that would be something where, like, I mean, this he has. I mean, he has a lot of confidence in this offense. He doesn't. They don't even punt ever. Like this is
Right.
like it's
So
nuts.
yeah,
How
so
much they
I'm
don't
with
punt.
you, right? Again, I'm not too hyped on the McCree, right? But when your leader of your team, the leader of your offense, throws something so terribly bad, that was a bad pick. You gave up points. We have 3 points right there.
You know what he gave. I think on that play. And listen, Jaden's been great all year, but like that in that situation against a good opponent, you gave up control of the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, more
And
so than
so,
anything, it was the control of the game because if they kick that field goal there and go up 17,
yeah.
the game is over. Eventually they got there, but let's get it on the first time.
Right. So to me, like Lake, it happened so early and it was a blindside hit. And I think that now he's gonna be so cautious of that I'm not worried about that. What I have with Jaden is the problem I have with Caleb early. They take sacks. I see they'll run out of bounds behind the line. It ain't a sack like they got tackled. They'll be behind the line and lose 2 yards, just running out of bounds. Throw the ball away.
Yeah.
Get it, but they have so much confidence in this offense. It's
And the playmakers in it. Yeah.
it's borderline cocky.
Yeah. No, I
It's
get it.
borderline cocky.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, throw the ball away. Save us 2 yards, right? Same thing with Jaden. You tried to make a play that wasn't truly there.
Yeah.
It wasn't. And you gave up points while doing so. Points are at a premium. That is your job. It is not your ball, it's our ball. Points are at a premium. You have to make sure that every time we get in the red zone, we get something.
Mhm.
It can't be because of you that we turn the ball over, that we don't get nothing. You see what I'm saying? And so Jaden, when he did, I'm like, bro, you have to be better. You got to be better. That's the same problem I had with Caleb early. And then Caleb changed his ways and started throwing the ball away. Same problem I have. And I hope Houston doesn't pick up those bad, because that's a bad habit to have.
Yeah. So we
Really.
also looking at and I really hope we don't get one because the game is at 4:30. So who knows when that game will end if they do it. But it does look like weather-wise in this game, it does look like it's definitely going to rain. Or you're gonna get some rain in that game. But the worst is like I think Saturday morning it says thunder. It says it could be thunderstorms. Hopefully that's only the morning time because I don't want another Purdue situation where we're sitting there waiting for that game
Right.
till not till 9:30 at
Right.
night. So you know that'd be
Was there
very
any lightning in the forecast? Lightning.
for lightning on Saturday. Thunderstorms, yes.
That's a problem.
75 degrees. But it's supposed to be in the morning,
Okay.
and the game is at 7 p.m.
Yeah, so
there.
7 o'clock our
Yeah,
4 o'clock our time.
yeah, 4 o'clock our time. 7:30 their time. So it should be fine. So hopefully that's not the case. But yeah, your feeling about you just kind of sum this up a little bit. Like where was your heart telling you? What's your reason for optimism? What's your reason for trepidation?
If we play like last week, we'll win the game the same way. We'll win the game by the same score. If we play like last week, I'm be honest. Play like last week, we'll win the game by the same score. If we come out and we're so high on last week, we're high on last week's win, we'll lose the game by the same score though. I
Being
think
high on it and being confident is two different things.
Lincoln has to bring this team back down
Yeah,
and say, listen, that was great. We got another challenge ahead of us.
a real
Because
one. Yeah.
our playoff hopes, and this is a bigger game. I was telling somebody today in a space, right? And he's a Michigan fan. He's like, that's your biggest win in like 30 years. I said, you're tripping. I said,
Okay, calm down.
yeah,
Calm down.
that's what I said. I said, you remember Caleb? I said, you remember Caleb beat Notre Dame at home, right? You remember that? He's like, that ain't bad. I said, yes, it is, because they're our actual rival.
Man,
We
calm
don't
down.
care about you.
God, calm
That's our
down,
actual
bro.
rival. That's a rivalry game. I said, oh, okay, I'll give you that. I said, yeah, that's a rivalry game. We don't care about you. You think that you're good. We don't think we can care less. We just came off a bye and we
Yeah.
smacked. It wasn't close. We smacked you. We did what we wanted to do. Notre Dame, we're more concerned with. And I think if Lincoln puts that fear and then that concern on these players' minds, and listen, this is a game we got to go to. We haven't won in South Bend in a little while.
And I think also Lincoln doesn't want to lose. I think for your Lincoln, you want to even up the series against Marcus Freeman and go
Yes.
2-2. You don't want to lose 3 straight. And I think also too is like this is not a situation where like they're not on the schedule next year. So this could be
No.
this literally you're playing. You could be playing in the last Notre Dame USC game. And
Yeah.
I think I mean to send them home and to end their season would be something that we would always. I mean, everybody who will always remember that. I think also too was like my dreaded nightmare is that for this team shows strides, does everything they did, but they end up at 9-3, and
Yeah.
9-3 is a death sentence because 9-3 means you were basically one play away at Illinois, a play away in Notre Dame, a play away in Oregon
In Oregon. Yep.
from making the playoff,
Right.
and you couldn't make that one play. And I think that's the thing that's really going to be eat at people's craw, and I'm going to be mad. I'm going to be saying that stuff like we ended Notre Dame. If it is over, 1 year too late.
True. Very true.
So I mean, so you have the issue there. So I mean, I think they can win the game. I don't understand the point spread, but like I said, we'll see. We'll go there. We'll go there and see, and we'll go to that, and we'll see if they end up playing flat and getting blown out. I think last year's team was better. I think once I watched that team and the physicality they played with in that game against us last year, I was like, okay, Notre Dame can make a fucking run because they could.
Well, I understand the
because
question because, like you always say, we haven't won on the road. We haven't won on the road.
Not like I said. I mean, like yeah, okay.
So
Basically, they're so basically, what was it? I think that was probably the same spread that Indiana had against Oregon. So now
you get 3 points so the home team gets 3 points automatically, and I think they're giving 6 or 7 points, 6.5 for being on the road. Like we don't, like you said, we haven't won on the road. We got to prove we can win on the road.
I just want to see the spread on that game. Spread. Let's see what the Oregon or the Indiana Oregon spread was. What was the spread on this game? Real quick before we head off. God damn, give me a spread. Everybody betting now.
What? Or you said Oregon, Indiana,
or Indiana? What was the spread in that game before they played? It was. We had every information about it except for the spread. Let me just put in. Let me go back one. Because I think that's the kind of model I'm looking for. Is that like it's like, hey, that's the reason. I understand why that was the spread is what it is. Indiana spread.
So the spread was 6.5.
So they get
over under 51.5.
Yeah. Okay. So they gave Notre Dame a couple more points.
Yeah,
a couple more points. So,
but we haven't. Like I think is what you said is we haven't won on the road.
Yeah, we have one. That's why. I just that Illinois game is going to. That Illinois game is going to kill. So
it's going to haunt us.
It's just going to haunt us. So we'll see.
I was telling my wife.
So it was 7. So it was 7.5. Yeah. Okay, it makes sense.
I was telling my wife. I said if we beat if we beat Indiana, college game day is at USC.
If you beat Illinois.
Illinois. That week, college game day was at USC.
Yeah, I mean they're so entrenched with they're so entrenched with the big with the SEC now. I think that they might. But I totally agree. I totally. So
they were at Indiana, Oregon last week. So if we had went undefeated, they're playing that 4-1 because they only lost to Oklahoma. Then we're gonna be at USC for that game.
Mm-hmm. You're right. Real quick before we go, thoughts. Obviously, Cignetti got paid today. Rightfully so. As far as that goes, it keeps him home. I don't think the kid from Notre Dame is going anywhere. What are your thoughts about the firing of James Franklin?
You lost to who'd you lose to again?
You lost to.
You can't lose to them, bro. You are Penn State.
Yeah, you can't lose that game.
You
can't lose that game and then follow it up by a home loss.
Come on, bro. You lost to
Northwestern,
the worst teams in the Big Ten.
You lost to one of the smartest teams in the conference. You know, it's a great university.
I literally had there was a the week before, right? It was really funny because the week before there was a post on Twitter and said, where's Notre Dame get their first win? I mean, I'm sorry, where does that team, that their ruins get their first win?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't think they get a win. In my mind, I'm like, dang, I'm looking at the schedule, like, where do they get a win? I don't think they get a win.
Mm-hmm.
And Penn State, of all people, yeah, good luck with that.
No, it was bad.
Penn State, you're supposed to, and it's like you came in and you rolled out your helmet and expect to get a win. Like them kids don't play football.
That is wild. That's wild.
I expected it. Yeah, listen, if we lose to them, fire Lincoln Riley right now. Fire him. Fire him now.
Oh god,
that team,
the
team that we see right now, fire them right now.
That's crazy.
ASAP.
All right, folks, fight on. Take care. Notre Dame, USC. Hopefully, one last time.
Overall,
hopefully it's the last time. All right, take care. Peace. Later.